Hello everyone. Water can be understood by literally through its color. I mean, not in the exact literal sense that green, blue water, but you also have a division of water in terms of green, blue, gray, and that is a very, very important terminological things which you can use in your mains as well as while you are understanding for the while you are preparing for the prelims. These words can be asked even as part of our prelims exam. Hello everyone, welcome to Super Coaching UPSC by Textbook. Today we'll be discussing about such different colors which are attributed to water. I am Venkatesh, your faculty for Geography. I think as part of our preparation, you all might have heard about, as part of your preparation, as part of the current affairs and all, you might have always heard about a word called water footprint. Water footprint. What is water footprint? It all talks about, what does it talks about? Come on. What does water footprint talks about? It talks about amount of water which we are consuming as a society for our basic needs. It talks about how we are replenishing, how the water is being replenished, and the ratio between the amount of water which is being replenished and the amount of water which is being consumed. The footprint, it is actually about the consumption patterns. Always we'll try to understand the consumption patterns with respect to a perspective of availability, replenishment, and all. To understand all these things, ecologists try to give perspectives of different names to get to know about the nature. Let us try to understand what do you mean by blue water. Blue water. Okay. Yes, I think blue water is the one which is the most important, which is the source of water for us, which comes through our rainfall, or in other words, in some of the areas, snowfall. Together, I would say precipitation, right? So, if you are part of the regions like Kashmir, you do get water in the rain in the form of snow, right? Precipitation in the form of snowfall. That is the thing. I think you all know the temperate grasslands, the regions within this part of the Himalayas, the alpine meadows, which we call it as, you get snowfall during the winter, which are very, very key for our, for our rivers. So the snow, the rain which we get, and how does this water accumulates into the natural sources, be it the rivers, be it the groundwater. You can see the rivers, the lakes, the aquifers, the groundwater, the lakes, tanks, all the things which are naturally available. That is what we'll call it as blue water, which is very, very easy for us to understand, right? And this water is useful for our irrigation purpose. It can useful for our drinking, washing, manufacturing, for industries, other even uses, whatever. Whatever we use it, we primarily use it from the blue water. Now, in fact, the monsoons in India determine how much amount of blue water we have. Differently, the climate change is altering the blue water. So we are only worried about, so what is the extent of change in the worriness? If there is a problem with respect to rainfall, it is the core water or the main one, the blue water, which gets varied, right? Then as you move, you will talk about the next one, the green water, which is what the water which is acquired by the plants. You can see here, there is a surface runoff. You can see here, you can see this is the groundwater. This is what we will call it as blue water, which percolates. Now, the roots, the kind of, the plants which store water and all the things, the water which is available in the soil, the water which is available in the plants, in the roots, or where you'll find the process, transpiration. Transpiration. That is what is called as green water. What is green water? Green water is the one which is used in our transpiration. It is an outcome of transpiration which you can it is visible in the water. I mean, it is visible in the roots, right? In the plants, water is it will be stored. That is what is called as green water, right? So please understand, the green water, it refers to the soil moisture held in the unsaturated zone formed by rainfall and available to plants. If you wanted to understand the crop productivity, the crop yields of a region, which kind of crops are growing, it is this green water which is very, very crucial. So green water, agriculture depends heavily on green water as soil moisture is critical for crop growth. And you will see that the increased rainfall variability due to climate change will impact green water availability and crop yields. And this improving green water use efficiency in agriculture through practices like mulching, zero tillage can improve resilience. Now, what we are trying to do? We are trying to take steps in such a way that this natural water availability in our crops, in our soil, we are trying to protect it naturally. Have you ever worried about what is the meaning called as mulching? What is mulching? Mulching means what? Mulching means, people will have the unused leaves and all, which they'll try to dump it on the soil, where they'll create an additional layer through the natural means so that the soil is not directly exposed to the sun. So simple point, we have a sun, right? Then we have the soil. Here itself, you will try to have some kind of greenery on the soil, mulch, so that the water which is available along the plants is actually stored within that. Then zero tillage. Now, if you start tilling more, you also have zero tillage agriculture, right? If you start tilling more, what will happen? If there is more tillage, it will have a negative impact. What will happen? The tillage will be exposing the entire soil moisture which is beneath the surface towards the sun, and thereby there is a high chance of transpiration, which you find that green water would be reduced. That is the negative challenge. So that is why the zero tillage, the practices like mulching are very, very important. You can see here the variations of rainfall which we are seeing because of climate change will impact green water availability, and that is automatically impacting the crop yields. That will lead to concerns with respect to total supply of the crop with respect to the demand, inflationary concerns for we as a consumer, and for the farmer, this is the source of livelihood. That is also having a impact. So green water is important from that angle. Naturally, if you talk about it, the green water, the blue water are part of the natural process. Humans have altered it like anything. But when you talk about consumption and usage of the water, there is also something called as grey water, which we use the water like anything, right? For example, we all know that how do you use water in our lives, be it in terms of the be it in terms of our home, whether it is washing clothes, whether the utensils, whether it is through the sink for the brushing the teeth and all. You all know the varieties, right? So when you see that, there is so much amount of water which we try to use, and with increasing population, with increasing concentration of population, say in a big city like Delhi, you have seen that there is so much amount of water which you can store through our practices. So grey water is a concept which talks about all the waste water which is generated from our domestic activities, like like washing clothes, laundry, like the dishwashing, that is the utensils, and bathing. It is all about the non-toilet or the ones which are not associated with human waste, no pathogens, no bacteria. It's all about the water which we use. Say for example, the sink, when you try to wash your face, the water that is called, we can say, is as a part of the bathing process, right? You can talk about the sink water, and all these waters, if you see in a big city, the consumption is quite huge. What you can do is, as part of the rainwater harvesting structures, now you all know there are so many big gated communities which are coming up. As a community, if you try to build up such kind of activities, the amount of water which you store is mind-boggling. You can see that big communities, You can connect all the water pipes when there is new construction and all. You can connect all the water pipes towards an area. You can store water, all this grey water, and use it for, say, from gardening purpose and all these kind of things. So that is very, very important because it is free from pathogens and it is a water which can be used for, gardening, then all those kind of things, right? And the nature of the recycling, it can be recycled and reused for agriculture or landscaping. That's what I'm talking about, gardening. Automatically what will happen? When you use good grey water, it will put less stress on the blue water. That is very, very important, especially in a city like Delhi, Mumbai and all, where you are finding that providing water supply towards cities is a challenge. You all have seen the Bengaluru water crisis, right? 2 crore buildings, apartments. Yes, an apartment is a cost of around 2 crores, and even there you are not getting water. Imagine the plight, right? So that's the thing. Now, availability of water, nothing to do with class now, right? It is not like the poor are suffering more. It is suffered by equally by every one of us. That is the thing, right? You have seen such kind of things. So this is grey water. We as part of our culture has to be imbibing such kind of things. For example, when you go to Japan, when you see from the Japanese culture, the children over there, they are forced to practice cleaning activities. Whatever the room is there, they try to keep it clean on their own, the children together. That is imbibed as part of their culture since their childhood. Whereas what will happen? We'll sit at one place, as if like we are the rajas and the queens of the world. We'll try to ask some ayas, some cleaning person, some other person to come and clean, right? That is how we are imbibing the cleanliness, and that is how sometimes we don't see that is a not part of a natural process to us. Anyways, there are many who are doing really well as well. They are forced to, but that's not a cultural norm which we are imbibing. In the future, this grey water is also should be imbibed in our societies in such extent that you will finding that as a community you are trying to use water. Every colony, not just a gated community, every colony should have such kind of structures, should have such kind of rules, right? You have seen it. When there is a colony, every building on its own, they are trying to have their water, groundwater, and the kinds of bore pumps which you are trying to provide, it is increasing like anything, which is creating the challenge of replenishment of the groundwater, right? The bore sets and all, we are increasing like anything. This is putting a challenge on the blue water. The groundwater is replenished, is not able to replenish naturally. So there comes the role of grey water. This is a cultural norm which every city should imbibe. Then, you see, please remember, we are not talking about untreated or poorly treated grey water, right? You need to understand that if it is untreated, poorly treated, it can contaminate groundwater and spread diseases. Hence, this grey water, you have to use it safely using the urban grey water, and for that is the reason why you need to have some kind of sewage treatment plants. Maybe not to a decent level, but definitely up to a certain level, so that they are not the centers of harmful pathogens, right? You cannot monitor every house, every sink, every kitchen and all those kind of things. So there might be a challenge. So that's why we need to have investments in treatment plants. Have you understood this point? This grey water, very, very important. In fact, when you talk about this, you also have one more thing, black water. This is purely polluted water, which is of no use. Contains harmful pathogens, right? Contains harmful pathogens and all these things. That is very different. Maybe you can say a toilet water. So that is the black water. So you have various dimensions of water. Ultimately, what is the idea? All this clubbing of water types, what is the objective? Why are we learning? Anyone can tell me what is the purpose of learning this? Anyone can tell me what is the purpose? What is the purpose? Ultimately, to manage water. To manage water. In the climate change and the agriculture water demands are climate change and agriculture water demand are increasing. There is a decent demand. They are actually stressing the blue water resources, which are very, very limited. You can see green water management provides opportunities to improve our agriculture resilience, the food security. You can see tomorrow, as a policy, if you try to focus more on the grey water reuse, it can actually supplement blue water if public health safeguards are in place. These are very, very important steps as a community we need to do, right? The nature is providing blue, the humans are trying to modify it. You can do both. As you do it, that is when we'll try to live in harmony. When you live in harmony, when there is an integrated approach across the blue, green, grey water, what happens is you will attain the concept of sustainability. By the way, can you talk about the sustainable developmental goal? Which goal is this? Sustainable developmental goal. What is the goal of achieving clean water? Anyone? Clean water, sustainable developmental goal. Anyone? Can you tell me the number? Can you tell me the number? It is goal 6, right? Sustainable developmental goal number 6, right? You can talk about, see, when you are preparing all the climate, all the urbanization process, everything, we need to have sustainable developmental things in that way. We need to have these kind of things. Sustainable developmental goals, how they are associated with urbanization, how they are associated with climate change, how they are associated with agriculture, water, poverty, all those kind of things. You have to have a proper understanding. They're very, very key, and those are associated with your conclusions in your main answers, right? So this is about the water types, how you have understood this, right? Then if you want the PDF file, you can get into the Telegram channel. You can get more updates about, UPSC preparation, where I'll be participating in that. Today I'm having a live session where I'll be discussing about the cutoffs of 2023 and the learnings for the upcoming 2024 prelims exam. You can go and check the video of the live stream with this. So that's it for today. Hope you all have understood this. You have loved the concept. I hope I helped you in learning a new concept, the green, blue, gray waters. You never know, UPSC might ask question about such kind of random stuff. Hope it did help you. So we'll come with new topics like that regularly. Keep watching this session. You can follow my Telegram channel. You can ask me doubts and all, and keep subscribing to this channel so that you will be notified about such kind of videos. So thank you all of you. Have a good time. Happy learnings. See you tomorrow again. Thank you.